Hickok 45 here. Is that a pretty sight or what? A couple of Ruger Bisley Vaqueros in my El Paso saddlery rig. Quite attractive, I think. Those firearms seem to match. Let's shoot one of them. You want to? Oh, this one happens to be loaded. Maybe that's why it was pointed downrange. Let's just start with a bullseye. Just for that, let's shoot a 2-liter. Oh man. And a bowling pin sitting there. Yeah. Let's just throw one at the gong. The number 5 round. Let's see, where should I hold? All right, pow. Hey. So 5 rounds of 45 Colt from a Ruger Bisley Vaquero. That's what you just witnessed. Did you know what you were witnessing? Yes, and I know it's empty. I counted my rounds for a change. Single action. You know how you unload a single action. Some of you wonder why they even exist. They don't even use a high capacity magazine. Pathetic. Wow. How can you be a good mall ninja without a magazine for your firearm? So look at those big chambers. That means big bullets, big cartridges, right? So yes, Ruger Vaquero in the Bisley configuration. If you're not familiar with that, I'll tell you a little bit about it. And yeah, got a matching pair. I'll tell you why that happened. Some of you already know, those who watch the Sunday morning videos every Sunday morning. You've seen both of these firearms already. What's wrong with the rest of you? You're missing all the best stuff in life. So yeah, 45 Smith. This is the Vaquero, very, very popular revolver, right? One of the most, I guess, popular revolvers that Ruger's ever made, partly because of cowboy action shooting and the popularity of it, as well as the long time popularity of anything that looks like a Colt single action, a clone of a Colt single action, or even a Ruger Vaquero, which is kind of a copy. It's not exactly a clone of it, but looks pretty much like it, okay? So, the Vaquero. The Vaquero has been around a while, since what, 86, I think, or somewhere along in there. I think the Bisley model, yeah, they came out with a Bisley model in the Blackhawk first with this grip and the single 6, and maybe the Vaquero in general was around mid-80s, okay? And they were heavier then. They were like the Blackhawk. They were a little bulkier. I had a couple of them, actually more than a couple. I had 2 like this, and I had 2 in a standard configuration, and they were just bigger guns. They were tanks. They really were. And I don't know when it was. When was it? You probably know. I think it was early 2000, 2010. I don't know. They came out with a new Ruger Vaquero, and that's what this would be. It's more slimmed down, and it's more the size and dimensions of a Colt single action or a Colt clone, which I like much better. I really do. So pretty cool guns, and I've got a couple of them in 45 here on the table, and I want to thank Alabama Holster. In honor of them, I'll put my Alabama holster on the table. Yeah, got one with my phone in it too. So great little maker of Kydex holsters. Many of you have written me and complimented them, and are glad I warned you about them or informed you about them. I've been using them a long time. Appreciate their help. Let me get the other one out here while I'm gabbing about them. This one's not loaded. It wouldn't be pointed back that way. Ugh. Okay. Now, they're kind of a matching pair, aren't they? They look a lot alike. They both have the simulated ivory, as it's called. Came from simulated elephants, I suppose. That was a joke. Yeah, just fake ivory for those of you in Kentucky, related to me. You know, it's fake ivory. That's what simulated means. But many of you know I borrowed this one. Check the serial number. Yep, from Buds to do a video. We've not done enough Vaqueros. We just haven't all these years. I'm sorry. Apologize. I think we've done a couple had a couple of them on the table over the 17 years. And I've been thinking about buying one myself. Just need to have a Vaquero again. I let all the ones I had get away before we started doing videos, actually. And I've been looking at them from time to time, and during the pandemic and different times, you couldn't even find one. They were just not around, what the deal was exactly. And recently I got to look at it again, and then I saw this one. I thought, ooh, I like that. I almost bought one. And I thought, well, let me borrow one of those from Bud's. We'll do a video on it. I'll see how I like it and let you all experience it. And if I like it, I'll buy it. Well, I hadn't had this thing more than 4 or 5 days. Shot it that Sunday morning. I told y'all in that Sunday video that I might have to have one, I think, and I did. I had one by the next Sunday, and I brought it out. Those of you who know, and I like it. You know, I do. Now, I'm a Colt guy, but I do like it. And I was concerned. This one, the borrowed one from Bud's, it'll go back, you know, for their auction or whatever. It shoots right on. So if I miss, it's me. Okay. And when I got this one, ordered it from Bud's, I purchased it. Okay, sent the money. I thought, boy, I'm going to be so sad if, yeah, well, this one shoots right on. And if I get one in I've actually paid for that I'm keeping, and it shoots a foot to the left or something, or high or low, or whatever, it has an action that's not as nice, or trigger's not as nice, it'd be my luck. That will happen. Although typically that does not happen. I was so pleased, as you recall, on Sunday morning, you saw the first shots on both of these, and same thing, I couldn't tell which one I was shooting. This one shoots right on just as well. So I was very pleased with that. So, and you know, again, that's a testament to Ruger. They both shoot right where they're supposed to. Let's load it while I'm yakking here. So this is some Steinel ammo, yeah, 45. I got some Underwood extreme penetrators and some other stuff here I might shoot. So yeah, we appreciate Wideners.com for their ammo sponsorship. Check them out in the description and get your discount. Yeah, I load 5. The Ruger has the new action transfer bar and all that. You can definitely load 6 in a Ruger Vaquero or a newer Blackhawk or anything. I'm in the habit of loading 5. I got the system for doing it. You know, you load 1, skip 1, load 4 more. Cock the hammer, it comes out on an empty chamber. It's what we do in cowboy action shooting and everything. Whether you got a Colt clone, you got a Colt, you got a Ruger, no matter what you have, you load 5. And I fully understand you can load 6 at the table. I just don't want to break my habit. I've been known to break it a time or two with certain guns, but I just want to keep that that mental routine, you know, going. My mentality is rather weak. I can't afford to try to get fancy, okay? I got to keep it simple and be consistent. Well, you know what we have to shoot, since we have a cowboy gun. A cowboy, right in the heart. Oh, that sounded violent, didn't it? Yeah, we got him. He's gone. He's a goner. Oh, I was just trying to warn him. That was a warning shot. There we go. That's. Oh, we got pot to smoke. What's wrong with me? All right. Don't you fall. Oh, I was empty. I thought I had another round. Okay. So this is the Bisley model. For you new people to firearms, or people who just aren't familiar with single actions, I'll give you a very quick explanation, and some of it might even be accurate, who knows, of the Bisley, what that's all about. Here is a standard, you know, grip, the original Colts and hammer and everything. You'll notice the difference. You've got a longer grip, okay, the Bisley grip. And then the hammer is a different configuration. Now I know I'm comparing Ruger to Colt. I don't have a standard Ruger Vaquero, but you know, very similar. So you get this, you know, this hammer looks like that, right? This one doesn't come up as much. It comes straight back and down. It's easier to reach. So if you have a small hand, well, first of all, if you have a small hand, you might not like the big grip, but if you do, you can get to the hammer a little bit more easily. Your hand kind of is up closer on the bore axis. That's supposed to be some improvement too. But you know, got those differences. Back in the day, in the late 1800s, there was a shooting range. Believe it or not, shooting was very popular. Competition shooting and shooting back as it is now, but in those days. And there was a range in Bisley, England, the Bisley Range or whatever it's called. But they were famous for these matches. People would come from all over the world to compete there, in kind of southwest of London. And it's kind of like, I think about Camp Perry. Now, some of you that may not mean anything, but if you know much, you've been into guns very long, and I say Camp Perry, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've not been to Camp Perry, I guess. It's up on the Great Lakes, but Ohio, northern Ohio, right? Yeah, and it's just synonymous with rifle competition mainly, I guess, and has been for decades and decades and decades. So Camp Perry, if you competed at Camp Perry, it just means something, okay? So there might be a Camp Perry model M14, I don't know, Well, that's kind of what Colt did. Bisley, the Bisley Range, it was such a noted location and famous. They came out, I think it was 1894, with the Bisley model Colt. Colt were great, was a great marketer. The company was. Sam was dead by then, but I usually refer to him as Sam because I knew him personally, but they came out with the Bisley model. And it's kind of like this, okay? Not exactly, but they came out with a bigger grip, kind of in honor or as a competition gun to maybe use at the Bisley matches. Somebody had a bigger grip, get a little bit higher up on it. The hammer, different. There's a certain advantage to it. There were felt to be advantages. And, just get a better grip on it. So I don't know how many people used it and preferred it, but that's where that came from, the Bisley grip, okay? Bisley, England. Now the Colt one, I was talking to John, I have seen the Colts. I have, I'm kind of a collector of the Colts, and excuse me about the sneeze. I don't care for the Bisley grip on the Colt at all. And it's not my preferred grip on this. I just wanted one for something different. We got dealing with the allergies or the pollen in the air right now. But the Colt one is kind of thinner. And to me, as much as I like Colts, I actually prefer the Bisley grip on the Ruger if I want to get a Bisley grip. So I don't own a Bisley grip on a Colt. But Colt started it. And then when Ruger was making their guns, I think it was in the 80s, they came up, they made a version of the Bisley grip, and what they felt was an improvement, and it kind of was really, for the Vaquero, or actually it was for the Black Hawk and the single six, I think, first in the 80s. And then with the Vaquero, they did that later on, I think 98. I remember that because I started cowboy action shooting in 97. It was my first match, and it wasn't long before I didn't know they were just new, I guess, but I encountered some Bisley Vaqueros. I decided that's perfect for me, and I bought 2 of them for cowboy action shooting, and that would have been about 98, so they hadn't even been out long, I guess. So. And I had stag grips on them. They were a nice pair. I let somebody talk me out of them, and then I went through the standard grip. I decided I shot it better because I shot one-handed anyway, and I don't know, I just liked it better. But anyway, the Bisley grip, and that's where that comes from. And Ruger, I think, they don't have a continuous run, I think, of them necessarily. Maybe they do, but I think this particular one hasn't been out that long. With this particular, simulated ivory grip and everything, but I don't know. Now this is some lead Keith bullet, 255 grain Underwood. Let's try a couple of those. One advantage over the Ruger, you might get by with warmer ammo than a Colt. Okay, Rugers are made like a tank, as we always say. And now that doesn't mean you want to turn it necessarily into a Magnum if it's not a Magnum, but Rugers are known for their strength. 45 Colt. All right, so load 5, 255 grain bullets. And we need to smoke a little more pot. They feel pretty good, a little different. Ooh, that's pretty warm. I'll show you, I'll hit that pin. They knocked her right off. You can see it knocks those plates around. I think I meant to. No, I'm not. Yeah. Swung that stop sign pretty well. So that's a nice round. I'm on uneven ground here. Not that I've been drinking. So, variety ammo here. No problem. That's why I got one just plink around with, mess around with. If I want to shoot some, maybe a little warmer ammo, I load some pretty warm 45 Colts for my Marlin. And I could shoot that in this without having to be concerned. It'd probably be okay in a Colt as well, but I know it's okay in this. And since I've got the Vaquero, let's shoot some extreme penetrators from Underwood. You want to? Yeah. All right. Pretty neat. What else did I not tell you about the Vaquero? There's no need to shoot both. I was going to dual wield them. There's something about the I'll hold them up. There's something about the Bisley grip and that hammer. You notice I was having a little bit of issue right there. Now with the Colt, with the standard grip, I mean, I shot just like that all the time. You know, I got to where I could cock it pretty well and hit, be on target. My big thumb and hands and everything. With the Bisley grip, it's not as convenient. My thumb is like trying to get it back where it doesn't want to go almost, because it's, I don't know, the contour of the hammer. So, you know, they're a little bit more awkward for me. I mean, I could do it. I do it very slowly. But yeah, it's a different design. I remember an article, I may have told you all about it. Got his name now. He used to be an IPSC top competitor, gun magazine article, and he really swore by actually it was 45 Colt, as I recall, and a Ruger with a Bisley grip for hunting, plinking around the ranch and everything, because he could load up about anything he wanted to. It had the big grip, and you could hang on to it well. Load really hot. He loaded some really hot rounds for it. It was one of the earlier ones, the heavier ones, like I talked about, but I can't think of his name. Okay, so what was I was going to shoot some extreme penetrators. That's not them. Here they are. Okay, you remember those? Pretty cool. Like I told you all the Sunday morning, in the last video we shot some of these right here. I shot a bowling pin and it went just barely through it or whatever, and I found the bullet, this bullet, the penetrator, lying on the ground when I was cleaning up. Should have brought it out and got it in the barn. It had no marks on it at all because it's solid copper, I think. Yeah. All right, we got some things that haven't been shot here, like a 2-liter right there. I think it'll penetrate it. Sure did. What else do we want to penetrate? Well, we'll go over there and see if we can penetrate the buffalo. If I can hit it. All right. Got me a buffalo. How about that orange 2-liter right there? Oh, come on now. It's a hot shot bullet to be wasting. Do I have any more? No. Yeah, I've got one. Well, let's reload it. I can reload it one time and I will get even with that guy. I guarantee you. I will get even. You see what I did here. I'm unloading it and messing around here, and it's safer than a Colt. With a Colt, if I'm going to be doing what I'm doing now, I'd have to half cock it. So the firearm would have to be a half cock. It's still safe, but see, a different action. With the Ruger, you can just open up the loading gate, and that releases the cylinder. Okay, so back in whatever, early 70s, they did all that, changed the action to make it safer. Okay. All right. So I guess I don't need the penetrator, but those are cool. Those are cool. If you're going to do some hunting with your 45 Colt, that would take care of it. All right. I'm going to quit wasting bullets, and I'm going to get these orange 2 liters. All right. Who wants it first? If it takes all 5, I'm gonna get them. All right, got a pin to boot. All right, I feel better now. Hey, a buffalo. Yeah. All right, let's put them on. All right, so that's 5 of those. So anyway, that's the Ruger Vaquero. Y'all that go out cowboy action shooting, you're so familiar with this revolver, you know, whether it's a Bisley or not. Many of you have them. They're very durable, and if you're practicing a lot and shooting a lot of matches, you're more likely to be shooting Vaqueros probably than anything a lot of people do in that game, because they're a whole lot less money than a Colt. They're more durable, really. They're going to last longer. You're not destroying and wearing out a, you know, $2,000-3,000 firearm or $5,000 firearm, whatever generation you're shooting. Now, this isn't cheap. It's I think the MSRP is around 12 or 13, but you can get them for like 9, something like that. 9, under 1,000, I think. But you can just shoot these things and shoot them and shoot them. They got different springs, different system in them, more durable. It is empty, by the way. Let me prove it. Yeah, 5 rounds. So yeah, this is the most popular gun in cowboy action shooting, in case you didn't know it. If you see a match, you see someone shooting a video or whatever, and they're, you know, throwing lead through some gun that looks like this, it's more likely a Ruger than any other brand, I guess. Okay, I don't want to assume too much. But the Bisley is interesting. It does have the history, and a lot of people, I think, don't care for it all that much, and the verdict's kind of out on me. For me, it's just the novelty of it. It's a little bit different. That's why I wanted it. If I'm going to own one Vaquero, I thought, well, I think I might just get the Bisley, okay? Because I've got several guns, as you know, that have the classic configuration with the plow handle grip and everything. So let's just go with the Bisley, and that's what I've done. If I were going to matches and going to be shooting Ruger Vaqueros tomorrow and next month and from maybe not. I don't know. But for plinking around, it's kind of neat to have an example of a Bisley style revolver. Yep, from Bisley, England. No, actually not. So anyway, anything else you want to know about it, I probably won't tell you. I'm going to keep it a secret. But I'm glad you came around to help me fire this thing. Life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. You know, really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistol.com, talongungrips.com. And also, while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok45 on Twitter, The Real Hickok45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's Hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.